What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this is my review of the Syma X9 flying car. And on the side of the quad it says fly car. On the box it says flying car, but I like flying car better. So the X9, this thing is really awesome. I really like the way this looks. I was waiting for a very long time for a nice flying car to come out again. Since this thing here, I've had this GXD flying car here for some time now, and it was the best implementation of a flying car. This thing looks more like a car than the Syma X9, but the Syma X9 actually works better in its implementation. So this thing really does satisfy my thirst for another flying car. This one actually flies a little better than the JXD version of a flying car, and this also drives a little better. Even though the wheels on it are not rubber, they're actually foam, these little wheels here, but for the most part the functionality is there. I mean, it's seamless transitions from flying to driving and driving to flying as well. So that's pretty much what you would want a flying car for anyway. I know that's what I wanted one for, to be able to just be driving and just take off flying, or just come in for a landing from flying and just take off and driving. So I just think the idea is just awesome, and this does it very well. Even though it doesn't look much like a traditional car, I think it's an awesome design. You guys know red is my favorite color. Red and black is my favorite color scheme. So this coming in red and black is a plus for me. Really awesome. It seems like it struggles with the weight a little to recover from the flips, but if you give it a bunch of throttle before you go into the flip, it'll recover nicely. But for the most part, this thing is a really nice flyer. It is on the Syma's new protocol. It's the same protocol that the X5 C-1 is on. So same protocol as the X11. So the same exact Syma X5C transmitter. So that's awesome that you can fly your X11 and vice versa with this quad and transmitter. So the transmitter is just your basic X5C transmitter. The right shoulder is the flip button. The left shoulder is the rates. You only have 2 rates on this one. It has all your trims there. And to drive it, you actually, once it binds to the transmitter, you do that with an up and down motion on the throttle stick. This is actually the stick that you drive with. So to go forward, you just press up, and to turn left and right, you just hit the stick to those directions. To go back, it even goes backwards, so you can go backwards by pressing down. And then that makes it easier, because on the JXD version of the flying car, you actually had to press a button down here somewhere to switch it from driving mode to flying mode. This one is actually seamless from driving to flying and vice versa, because of the fact that this side over here does the driving while this controls the throttle for flying. So you can be going forward driving and then just take off flying that way. So pretty awesome with that. These buttons down here are fake actually. It's exactly the same transmitter as the Syma X5C-1, and it does take 4 AA batteries, in case you're not familiar with that transmitter. And back to the quad, this thing looks really low profile and sleek. I really wish the wheels were not foam though, but that does make it run really well on my carpets. And it does have lights. It has blue lights in the front. Wait a minute, I think these lights are maybe white. Let me check it out. The lights are actually white. So white lights in the front, and you have red lights in the back. So that's pretty cool. And oh yeah, and this does have proportional steering, by the way, but it is kind of finicky, so I can see why someone would think that It's not proportional steering, but check it out. So it is proportional. See, it's a little finicky though. It's hard to actually do it with the stock transmitter, but this is compatible with deviation. With the Devo, it works a lot more smoother. The speed actually changes in driving and flying mode. So low on driving, you'll have a slower top speed and all. And then when you go to the highest rate, it'll speed up. It gets considerably faster, noticeably faster on the ground, and in the air it gives you more pitch when you switch it to high. And the yaw stays the same actually. This does come in a variety of colors, pretty awesome colors. I've seen black, I've seen green. This red is the best color to me. There's also a white one, I think. So pretty awesome this thing is. And oh yeah, let's look at the bottom of it. There's an on and off switch there, but one negative that I do have about it is this battery bay here. I don't have a problem with the battery. The battery is pretty awesome. This battery is pretty small, but let me see if I can make this out and get the camera to focus on that. So as you can see, it's a 600 milliamp hour battery, but it is a 3.7 volt battery, but it's actually running parallel. So it gives you a little more power with this battery. But the thing that I don't like about it is this battery bay here. It only fits this battery. So the battery bay is really tight, and you have a socket here to plug this battery in there. And because of the design of it, you'll really struggle finding some batteries that actually fit in here besides the stock one. And so that's one negative. You're going to have to buy spare batteries for this thing. You can't use any other batteries. And you know, I have a bunch of batteries and none of them fit except for this one. And so it looks like it has 8.5 millimeter motors, but I'm not sure. It might be 7 millimeter motors in here. It is gear driven. I would imagine that it would have to be because of all the weight you have, unless you were going to make it brushless or use one of the giant motors from like the Tarantula or something like that. So that's just about all there is to say about this one. It comes with an extra set of spare props, a full set. And I am thinking about trying these props on a JXD flying car because they look like they'll fit and give a little more lift. They're a tad bit longer. And it comes with a screwdriver and a USB charging cable. Oh yeah, the instructions manual, I have misplaced it. But the instructions manual is pretty nice. Syma always has nice instructions manuals. And complete legible English. And so that's all there is to show. So let's check this thing out in flight. Okay, so this is the indoor flight demo of the Syma X9 fly car. Got it bound to the stock transmitter now. So let's check out its driving first actually. So we're in low rates now. So you can see there's a hard turn, and then I can loosen up on the turn. There's a gradual turn. Really hard to show. It's proportional steering because it's a little finicky, but you can see I turned a little more there. Okay, let's go on high rates. Okay, we're in high rates now. Just 2 rates on this one. So it does make it a little more faster. Let me see if I can make a soft turn with it. There's a soft turn. Well, it goes right into a hard turn, really easy. I can see where somebody would think that it's not proportional steering, because it is a little finicky to get the steering to just go a little, especially with the stock transmitter. Anyhow, let's go back to low rates so I can show you it flying. So this is low rates pitch and roll. Low rates yaw. And let's do some flips while we still fresh on the battery. So you can see the flips take a lot out of it. The flips take a lot out of it. So you really got to fight kicking the throttle all the way up to actually recover nicely from a flip. Okay, we're in high rates now. This is the yaw and high rates. So the yaw, I think, stays the same, but it's not bad for what it is. This is not really an indoor fly, but you can get around with it indoors. You can see here, that's the best of a funnel that you're going to be able to get with it. And so this is the pitch. Well, this is the roll here and pitch. That's full pitch forward there. Nice LEDs on the front and on the back. You have white in the front and red in the back. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera. This thing is really stable as well. Drifting to the side a little. But for the most part, this thing is pretty stable. So you can land it and go right into driving. So you can see there, and then you can just take right off and start flying again. So pretty awesome. Get it against a white background. Maybe you can see it a little better. The lights are really bright too, so this thing is pretty awesome. Now, it flies better than it drives, but it's certainly not bad driving. But I think it really shines in its airborne presence. The way it flies is a little better than the way it drives. So, pretty nice flyer with it. It doesn't feel heavy at all. But you can tell it's apparently heavy, a little heavier than the average aircraft, because when you do the flips, it actually has trouble recovering from the flips. So let's see. We're back in low rates now. Yeah, so it's pretty slow driving in low rates. High rates is a little better. Certainly fast indoors, but outdoors it would seem a little slow. So I guess that's all there really is to show with it. I guess we're just going to fly it until LVC so you guys can see the flight time. This was a fresh charged battery. Now flight times is actually going to vary because you know you get more run time just driving it, and you have less flight if you're going to fly it. Flying kills the battery quicker. So it all depends on how much flying you're doing and how much driving you're doing actually. So no real way to actually tell exactly how much flight or runtime you're going to have. And there it is. It just died on me there. Oh, actually I did the calibration. Let me show you that. The recalibration you have to put the left stick to the lower right corner, and then you put the right stick to the upper right corner, and that recalibrates it. So let's try it again. Oops, I hit a button by mistake. So sometimes it just doesn't do it. It's really finicky with doing it. Let's see. And I did it that one time. Actually made me think that it was at LVC. Okay, so it did it again. So the left stick to the lower right and the right stick to the upper right. So this stuff not at LVC. I guess this will be a good way to measure how much time you get to fly after LVC, but then after you land it, after it goes down from LVC, you still can drive it around. So I think that's pretty cool. So if you're a little ways away from yourself when it goes down, if you land right side up, you can at least drive it back, drive it a little closer. Funnels with it. The funnels are better to the left for some reason. It turns harder to the left. To the right, it's a little funny. Let's see. Let's check the yaw. The yaw. Okay, that's yaw to the left. Yaw to the right. I guess it's a tiny bit slower. To the right, to the left. Maybe the same, but for some reason it funnels better to this side. So let's funnel to the other side. Yeah, the turns are a little wider on that side when you're turning to the right. Okay, we're at LVC now, flashing. Let's see how long before it actually lands itself. Okay, it's landing. Whoop. Got up a little more. It's actually easier to hover close to the ground. Okay, it's going down now. Oh, and we're not able to drive it either. So this time it made a liar out of me. But usually you're able to still drive it after you land. So that's it. The Syma X9 fly car. Thanks for watching.